Hello and welcome back. I love Japanese super robots, specifically the super robots from the 1970s that were folded into the American toy line and comic book series Shogun Warriors. I had every issue of the Marvel comic, and when the original anime series for those characters were brought to America in the form of the cartoons Force 5 and Transor Z, I watched every episode. But as far as the toys, I didn't have that many of them. Growing up in a middle-class household in the 70s, there was only so much money to go around for toys. And though I had quite a bit, I didn't have everything. As far as Shogun Warriors, I did have some of the Jumbo Machinder figures, as well as a complete set of the first series Mini Shogun diecast figures. But the bulk of the line, the 5-inch scale diecast figures with the shooting fists and missiles, I did not have any of those. There were a lot of toys competing for my attention at that time, including Star Wars, Micronauts, and Mego's World's Greatest Superheroes. So when I was allowed to get a toy, I opted for those figures instead, because I could get more bang for my buck, as at the time the diecast Shogun figures were a bit pricey. But that doesn't mean I didn't have any Japanese diecast super robots, because I did have a full set of the Silver Warriors. Who? I'll explain. Back around 1978, in my area there was a department store called Ann & Hope, and I distinctly remember one time going into an Ann & Hope and seeing a display of die-cast robot toys. This particular display you see here, as seen in a catalog that is posted on the Plaid Stallions website, and I will link to Plaid Stallions in the description of this video. If you love 1970s toys, that is a great resource. There were 4 different Silver Warriors, and they were being sold at the time for less than $5 each. So I was able to get all 4 of them. Their names were Paladar, Trungo, Olan, and the figure you see here, Crestar. Crestar was my favorite of the 4 Silver Warrior designs, and I've never found an equivalent modern figure of this character. But while browsing eBay, I found this vintage example, obviously still in the box, being sold at a bargain price. He is complete and unbroken with all the original packaging, so I grabbed him. Now for years I just assumed that the Silver Warriors were just knockoff designs of the Shogun Warriors. It wasn't until I had access to the internet that I found that the Silver Warriors were based on actual 1970s Super Robot anime shows. And they have a toy history that goes right back to the actual Shogun Warriors line. The Silver Warriors were manufactured by a company called Kidco, and you can see the Kidco logo in the bottom corner of this box. Kidco was a brand best known for its die-cast miniature vehicles, often compared to popular toy car lines such as those made by Hot Wheels and Matchbox. Kidco vehicles featured creative mechanical gimmicks, including spring-loaded launchers, flip mechanisms, or pop-up accessories. Kidco products were widely distributed in the United States during the late 1970s and early 1980s through major retailers and toy stores, mostly marketed as inexpensive impulse purchases. In the late 70s, Kidco released the Silver Warriors brand of robots, with both die-cast and plastic figures. Besides Silver Warriors, some of the robot designs were also released under the names Space Defenders or Peace Phantoms. Like I said, I had all 4 of these 5-inch die-cast Silver Warriors, but little did I know these designs originally came from Japanese super robot anime of the era. The robots Paladar and Trungo actually came from an anime called UFO Warrior Diapolon, which premiered in 1976. The anime is loosely based on a manga by Tetsuo Imazawa. Blending sports anime elements with giant robot action, the show tells the story of a young athlete who becomes humanity's defender against an alien invasion. The protagonist, Takeshi, is an orphan raised in an institution who eventually learns that he is actually the prince of the planet Apollon. Earth comes under threat from the invading Zeta Empire, whose forces seek to conquer the planet and eliminate the Apollon bloodline. Takeshi discovers that he possesses a mysterious connection to a powerful robot called Diapollon, which is hidden on Earth. Unlike most super robot shows of the era, Takeshi does not pilot the machine in the traditional way. He physically merges with the giant robot, growing to enormous size and becoming the robot itself. Alongside Takeshi are his teammates from a futuristic American football-like sport known as Space League, whose training and teamwork help prepare them for combat against the alien invaders. The series ran for 26 episodes and was later re-edited into a theatrical compilation film titled UFO Senshi Diapollon. The other two Silver Warrior robots, Olan and Crestar, came from an anime called Blocker Gundam 4 Machine Blaster. Released in 1976, the series blends science fiction action with the team-based hero format popular in anime of that era. The show follows a group of young pilots who operate 4 powerful combat machines known collectively as the Machine Blasters, fighting to protect Earth from a hostile subterranean alien force. The story centers on the Blocker Corps, an elite defense team formed to repel the invasion of the Moguru Empire, a technologically advanced race emerging from beneath the Earth's surface. Each member of the team pilots a specialized vehicle capable of transforming into a humanoid battle robot. These 4 machines, each designed with different weapons and abilities, combine strategy and teamwork to battle the enemy's monsters and war machines. So let's take a closer look at this vintage Silver Warrior Crestar. Given that this toy is almost 50 years old, this box is in really nice shape. A little bit of yellowing on the plastic of the window, but nothing too bad. A little bit of wear around the edges of the box, but these colors are still vibrant. Here's the cross-cell on this side of Crestar and Olan, the 2 robots from Blocker Gundam 4 Machine Blaster. That's a heck of a title. And here are the 2 robots originating from UFO Warrior Diapollon. This is the show that kind of emulates American football, and you can see in those robot designs with their giant shoulder pads, they do kind of look like football players. Back of the package featuring the accessories of the figure. Again, these colors are very vibrant. There's no fading in this nearly 50-year-old box. Inside the box is a little plastic shield to hold in his accessories. We'll get that off. It does come with an old styrofoam insert. Don't see those anymore, not environmentally friendly. Get the rest of his accessories out. Now these robots were much cheaper than Shogun Warriors, probably because they don't have a lot of moving parts. The head and body are one solid piece of die-cast. This is one die-cast mold, head to toe. You don't see that anymore. Very solid, so that means the only moving parts are his plastic arms. Those can move up, down, out, and all around, but those are the only parts on him that move. Classic 1970s Japanese robot design with all the angular points, the primary colors. Very easy to spot a super robot of that era. They all have that kind of vibe to them, like futuristic samurai warriors. He does have a classic feature of the era, the spring-loaded fist. Let's see how that works. Those springs are still pretty powerful after all this time. The other feature all 4 of these Silver Warriors had were these flying discs. So you'd put these on that spot in the chest. This plastic piece attaches to the back, and this basically works like a whistle. The child would blow in this, and the airflow would launch that saucer out of the chest. Now I'm not going to attempt to do this on camera. I'll do it off camera and see if I can get the saucer to fly into frame. And I have properly washed and disinfected this old mouthpiece. So let's see what happens. Well, that took a few tries and I almost passed out, but it worked. Eventually, the robots from Blocker Gundam 4 Machine Blaster did become part of the Shogun Warriors line. Kind of. Shortly after the initial run of Mattel Shogun Warriors in Europe, Mattel's Italian branch released a series of toys in response to the popularity of the television release of Blocker Gundam 4 Machine Blaster in Italy. 4 die-cast robots as well as 4 Jumbo Machinda-style robots were released in Italy under the name Astro Robot. These toys were created by taking existing Shogun Warriors tooling and adding new parts to them. Although not part of the official Shogun Warriors toy line, collectors do recognize these toys as an extension of the toy line, and as such these Italian released toys have become grails for certain collectors. That's it for my look at Crestar and the history of the Silver Warriors. Has anyone ever heard of the Silver Warriors or the Galaxy Defenders or the Peace Phantoms or any of the original anime series that those robots come from? Let me know in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, thank you for your time and attention, and I will see you in the next video.